Alright, welcome to Gender Issues, with me, Andy Gray. Listen, if there's one thing that's worth getting to the bottom of, it's gender, and here on Gender Issues we do just that. We provide an equal forum for all genders, except queers, to get along and understand all of us and the things we go through, unless you're bent. This week, in the time-honoured spirit of equality, we're going to be weighing up one of the most contested issues known to man. Our tits' genitals. With me in the studio, ready to examine every angle of this issue in great depth and wisdom, is the most qualified man I've ever come across, Ron Atkinson. Hello, Ron.
Ooh, hello, Andy. Great to be here. Now, the first thing I want to know is this. Are the tits white? I think it's very important, not that it matters, but there's just something about white tits that really deserves discussion.
What kind of other tits are there, Ron?
Well, exactly. But you know, you'd be surprised. Some people think it's okay for tits to come in all shapes and sizes. And colours, not that it matters. But if the tits aren't white, they're not even human as far as I'm concerned. And in that case, how can they be considered as genitals?
Well, I don't really care what colour the tits are, Ron. They're all tits to me. What I will say, though, is this. Whenever I give them a grope, I seem to get slapped and kicked, so I came to the conclusion that tits are genitals. Otherwise, it'd be okay just to give them a squeeze.
When I see a pair of tits that aren't white, it reminds me of the time I nearly caught a 15-pound trout, only to have the little bugger slip the hook and run off downstream, screaming at me and calling me a bastard. It's just such a waste. Even blue tits annoy the hell out of me, Andy, and they're certainly not genitals.
No, Ron, they're not even the same species.
Exactly my point, Andy. Not that it matters.
What no one tells you, though, is how to cope with the daily temptation of tits, Ron. Take wags, for example, waltzing around the TV studios, squeezing those massive jelly treasures into tiny little tops, knowing you can't help but to hide in your dressing room, cowering from your own despair.
I don't think we should call them wags at all, Andy. After all, no one really has a wife and girlfriend. I think we should call them wives or girlfriends.
Actually, Ron, I think you'll find most footballers do have wives and girlfriends, both at the same time. God, just think of all those tits.
White flesh.
Pounding doughy mountains of unobstructed equality, pressed tight against each other in a soft, sweet lesbian experiment.
I don't know about you, Andy, but I can tell you right now that my genitals are definitely not sweet-scented. They stink like mushroom vinegar. Always have done.
Well, so do mine, Ron, now, without a doubt. My genitals smell like old ham soaked in milk, and that's certainly not my experience of tits.
Nor mine.
So, in that case, I think it's safe to say that tits are not genitals, otherwise they would stink, which they don't. Even women's fannies stink, and they are definitely genitals. So, wherever you are, go to the nearest woman and let her know that despite what she may have thought, her tits are not genitals, which also means she can shut up when you give them a little pat. I'm Andy Gray, and thanks for listening to Gender Issues with me, Andy Gray. Thanks also to my special guest, Ron Atkinson.
Oh, thanks, Andy.
Next time we'll be pondering issues of a physical nature, examining just how to go about punching a woman equally. Full force, hold back a little, who's to say? Goodbye.